Okay, so part 3, where we add, subtract, multiply, and divide fractions in mixed numbers. So for numbers 1 to 3, we're going to be reducing. So here we have 28 over 50. What is the largest number that goes into 28 and 50 at the same time? Well, that's just going to be 2, right? So I'm going to divide 28 by 2, and I'm going to divide 50 by 2. So 28 divided by 2 is 14, and then 50 divided by 2 is 25. So we have 14 over 25. Do I need to reduce this any further? No. So this is our answer. Number 2, we have 18 divided by 42. So what is the largest number that goes into 18 and 42 at the same time? Could it be 2? Well, I know that the top and the bottom are both even numbers, so for sure 2 goes into 18 and 2 goes into 42. So let's just try and divide both of these numbers by 2. All right, so we'll divide this by 2 and that by 2. So 18 divided by 2 is 9, and 42 divided by 2 is 21. So looking at 9 over 21, can I reduce this any further? Is there a large number that goes into 9 and 21 at the same time? No, so 9 over 21 is our answer. Number 3, we have 8 over 24. What's the largest number that goes into 8 and 24 at the same time? Is it 2, like the first two problems? Well, yes, 2 goes into 8 and 2 goes into 24, but that isn't the largest number. The largest number is actually 8, right? So 8 goes into 8 and 8 goes into 24. So we have 8 divided by 8, that's 1, and 24 divided by 8, that's 3, so 1/3. All right, so let's move on to numbers 4 to 6. We're being asked to find a common denominator and add or subtract the fractions. Now, whenever we add or subtract the fractions, we must have a common denominator. Or in other words, we must have the same denominator. So if we look at number 4, we have 2/3 plus 4/3 minus 6/3. It's very important that the denominators are the same before we add or subtract. But luckily with this problem, they all have a 3, so we're good to go. Okay, so if I add 2/3 plus 4/3, the result here is that the denominator is going to be the same, and then I will just do 2 plus 4, which is 6. Then I will do 6/3, right? So 6/3 minus 6/3. And I can go ahead and subtract these two fractions because, again, the denominators are the same. So the result, you're going to have it divided by 3, but the 6 minus 6 is 0. And we have 0 divided by 3, and we all know that 0 divided by any number is 0. All right, so that's me simplifying there. Now, you might be wondering, can I just do, if we erase the red, right, could I do 4/3 minus 6/3 before I add 2/3? Well, no, remember your order of operations, it's addition or subtraction, whatever appears on the left. That's the thing that we were talking about at the beginning of the semester. So remember your order of operations. In this case, I was doing 2/3 plus 4/3 first before I subtracted. All right. Number 5, we have 7/8 plus 3/4. Now, notice that these two fractions do not have the same denominator, so we have to make them the same somehow. Now, notice that this fraction has an 8 and this fraction has a 4. What I can do is manipulate this fraction so that it has the same denominator as this one, right? I can just multiply the bottom part of this fraction by 2, and whatever I do down below, I have to do up top, right? Just to make it all balanced. Now, we have 7 over 8 plus 3 times 2, that's 6, and 4 times 2, that's 8. Now look at that, we do have the same denominator, so I can go ahead and add. So it's 7 plus 6, that's 13, and then we keep the denominator. It's 13 over 8. Can I simplify this? Nope, so we're just going to leave it as is. All right, so 2/3 plus 1 over 21 minus 2 over 7. Okay, so this is the largest number that I can see. Is there any way that I can make these 21? Well, yes, I could. I can multiply this 3 by 7, and whatever I do down below, I can do up top, right? So 7 times 2 is 14. Use a different color. And 7 times 3 is 21, plus 1 over 21, okay? Now, we have minus 2 over 7. I can change this 7 into 21 by multiplying the bottom by 3 and multiplying the top by 3. So we have minus, right? 2 times 3 is 6, and 7 times 3 is 21. So you know when I'm adding or subtracting, the result is going to be dividing by 21, or it's going to be over 21. Now, we just add and subtract whatever is up top. So 14 plus 1 is 15, minus 6 is 9, all right? So that's 9. Now look at your fraction. Is it possible for me to reduce this? Well, what is the largest number that goes into 9 and 21 at the same time? 3. So I will divide the top and the bottom by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is just 3, and 21 divided by 3 is 7. So the answer is 3 over 7. Okay? All right, so let's multiply fractions. And this is very, very simple. We don't need to worry about having a common denominator. All we need to do is just multiply across, okay? So whenever we're multiplying the fractions, we multiply the numbers across. So here is number 7. We have 5 over 7 times 4/3. So we multiply, let's use a different color here. We multiply across, we have 5 times 4. That's 20, and 7 times 3, that's 21. Can I reduce this? No, so 20 over 21 is my answer. How easy was that? Right, that's all you have to do. Let's do another one. We have 2/3 times 4, which, you know, we can rewrite this as 2/3 times 4 over 1, right? Then we multiply across. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. So the answer is 8/3. Number 9, we have a different scenario where we have 3 and 1/5 times 1 and 5 over 6 times 3. Now look at these numbers here. They are what we call mixed fractions. And what we're going to do with these mixed fractions is convert them into improper fractions. Improper fractions are basically a fraction where the numerator is larger than the denominator, which you've seen before, and that's totally fine in the real world, right? So how we're going to convert these mixed fractions, we use something called the Texas method, right? The Texas style. So I'm going to write a plus here and an x, right? That plus and an x looks like a TX, right? Texas, where I'm just going to do 5 times 3, right? That's 5 times 3. That's 15 plus 1, all right? So it goes like this. 5 times 3, which is 15, plus 1, that's 16. So I'm going to write 16, and then you keep the denominator. So you have 16 over 5. So 3 and 1/5 is 16 over 5. We're going to do the same thing over here. So tx, or plus multiplication. So we have 6 times 1, that's 6, plus 5, that's 11. All right, so 11. And then you keep the denominator, so it's over 6. Times 3, or 3 over 1. So the first two numbers, we converted the mixed fractions into improper fractions. So now we can go ahead and multiply straight across, just like what we did with numbers 7 and 8, right? Okay, so 16 times 11. So what I'm going to do is I write 16 times 11. All right, so 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Then I move on to a different number, so I need to write a 0 there before I do anything. And then we do 1 times 6, which is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1. So your answer, when you multiply these two fractions, is 176, right? Divided by, what's 5 times 6? That's 30, all right? So I'm just breaking these down into pieces. We still have 176 divided by 30 times 3 over 1, all right? We're still multiplying across, but the bottom should be easy because 30 times 1 is just 30, and we have 176 times 3. We have 3 times 6, that's 18. We carry the 1. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 1, that's 22. And then 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2, that's 5, right? So 528 divided by 30. All right, looking at what we have right now, 528 divided by 30, is this reducible? And it might be a pain, but if you're having a hard time figuring out what the largest number that goes into 528 and 30 at the same time, notice that these two numbers are even numbers. So just, divide by 2 each time. But I can go ahead and tell you the largest number that goes into 528 and 30 at the same time is 6, right? So 528 divided by 6 is 88, and 30 divided by 6 is 5. So the answer is 88 over 5. Okay? All right. Now we are going to divide the fractions, okay? There are steps to dividing fractions. So hopefully you remember something back in middle school, right? It's called keep, change, flip. Basically, if we look at number 10, we are going to keep the 5 over 6. And then here we're dividing, right? But we're going to change the sign. So we're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And then we are going to flip the fraction. So what are we actually flipping? We're going to flip the next fraction. That 1 over 2 is now going to be 2 over 1. Okay? So one more time. We're going to keep, we're going to change, and we're going to flip. So KCF, all right? So we have 5 over 6 times 2 over 1. That's a fraction. We're multiplying. We do remember what to do when we multiply fractions. We multiply across, right? So 5 times 2 is 10, and 6 times 1 is 6. 10 over 6. Whoa, this is my improper fraction, right? That number in the numerator is larger than the number in the denominator. That's really cool to know, but that 10 over 6 can be reduced. So what is the largest number that goes into 10 and 6 at the same time? 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 5/3 is the answer. Number 11, we have 1/2 divided by 6. Hopefully we're okay with me changing that 6 to a 6 over 1. It's the same thing, right? So 1/2 divided by 6 over 1. Remember, we're going to keep the fraction, so we're going to keep the 1/2. we're going to change the division to a multiplication, and then we're going to flip the fraction. So that 6 over 1 now becomes a 1 over 6. We multiply across, so 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 6 is 12. The answer is 1 over 12. All right, number 12, this time we have 4 and 1 over 2 divided by 1 and 3 over 4. So we have two mixed fractions. We got to convert them into improper fractions. So we're going to use that Texas method that we know and love, right? So plus multiplication. So it goes like this. 2 times 4, which is 8, plus 1, that's 9. So it's 9 over 2, right? We write 9 up top, and then we take that 2 that's in the denominator here and bring it down. So 9 over 2 divided by plus x. 4 times 1, that's 4, plus 3, that's 7. So 7 divided by 4. So we have 9 halves divided by 7 over 4. So we're going to keep the fraction, change the sign, and then flip the fraction. So 9 times 4 is 36. 2 times 7 is 14. Notice that we have an even up top and even down below. So I can go ahead and reduce this. We're going to divide the top and the bottom by 2. Both of them are even numbers. So 36 divided by 2 is 18. 14 divided by 2 is 7. So 18 over 7 is the answer for number 12. All right.